Hey, what's up guys? So it is the night before the track event, and like I was mentioning in the other video, this channel, Boosted Motorsports, is just as much yours as it is mine, and I'm taking your guys' inputs. I went ahead and got one of those brand new GoPros, the Hero 7 Black, so that we can get some point of view footage for you guys in the car, both for the track and for test driving some of these other cars, and even the cars that we already have on the channel. So we'll be doing all this stuff. I want to show you guys where I'm going to mount it, how I'm going to mount it, and set up all these cameras, and then we'll see how the night goes as we prepare for the track. So here is my helmet, and we got that brand new GoPro Hero 7 Black. So this thing is going to give us that nice footage that we want, because I'm trying to keep the quality of these videos as high as possible. As you can see with this camera, it's crystal clear, so I want to keep it consistent and I don't want a bunch of shaky footage. So what we're gonna do is, I got this weird mount on it like that, and we're gonna try to put it right here on the helmet. So I've got this curved mount here, and I'm gonna test it out. We'll put that curved mount right there. It should stick right in the center like so, and then I'll show you where we have the other GoPro too. So if you guys have some better feedback for where you guys want the footage, I have the older GoPro that I'm gonna put up here, so you'll be able to see firsthand and also overall of the car. So that should be pretty good footage. I mean, we can kind of place them anywhere around the car. I got two GoPros at the moment, so we can put them kind of all over the place, even put them back here maybe. I mean, we could put it on the back of the trunk facing backwards at some point, but there's not gonna be much to see on this track because we're gonna do the autocross course. I took your guys' advice, so we're just gonna do the autocross tomorrow. Also, I wanna show you guys some of the stuff that goes into some of these events. I went and bought a brand new Easy Up canopy, and it actually fits in the back of this tiny little car, believe it or not. So with everything kind of gutted, that canopy fits right across here. We have two chairs, these green kind of stowaway chairs, so I can kind of show you what goes in the preparation of these events. And then I'm hoping that I can at least stand one of those 5 gallons right there. I should be okay with just one for tomorrow, so I'm gonna fill that up when we go to the track. I'll stand it here, put everything else, and we're gonna fill this thing with a bunch of stuff. So a lot of stuff that goes into this. Let me get that camera mounted and show you guys what we're doing. So you can see that footage is pretty good, but we need it a tiny bit higher, and the problem is, hopefully you guys can see this, the case part right there. Can you guys see that? The case part right there is hitting on that arm. So it's just contacting there. So I'm actually gonna take, you guys are laughing, I'm gonna mark that area, remove the camera, and just take an angle grinder and just knock down that little thing so that I can push this just a little bit more in. It'll give us just a little bit more tilt, and then I think we should be golden. So here's where it is. So I'm hoping that this is getting above the dash and not just pointing at the dash, but we'll find out in a second. So you can see that footage is pretty good, but we need it a tiny bit higher, and the problem is, hopefully you guys can see this, the case part right there. Can you guys see that? The case part right there is hitting on that arm. So it's just contacting there. So I'm actually gonna take, you guys are laughing, I'm gonna mark that area, remove the camera, and just take an angle grinder and just knock down that little thing so that I can push this just a little bit more in. It'll give us just a little bit more tilt, and then I think we should be golden. There we go. So that got what we wanted. So I'm able to angle it up a little bit more because I can tuck. Hopefully you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? So this part right here tucks in a little bit more. So this gets closer to the screen, but it's not touching the screen, but it just gets everything a little bit closer so that I can angle it up a bit more. I actually had a no-name one, but when I put it on there, just side note, these no-name ones are really, like, when you put it in there, it's sitting there flopping all around, so it would have been even more annoying. So I did end up modifying the actual GoPro one, but this thing is solid on here. So go ahead, we'll turn the camera on, test it. This should be perfect. So it's gonna be a lot higher now, and I think we should be where we need to be. So it'll be tilted more up so you can see more of over the dash, hopefully, instead of just looking down at the bottom of the steering wheel. Okay, so here we go, and just even feeling the camera, I feel like it's pointed in a better spot. So I think we should be good now, guys. I think that should be like, I think it's aiming almost right at the top of the steering wheel, or maybe even around here. So you guys should be able to see up here now, I would think. So that footage looks way better now. So like I said, it's close to the screen, but not touching it. And that's the modification there that we did just so we could get a little bit more rotation out of this bracket so that it would sit up more, because I can't do anything more on the helmet. I have it as high as possible before it hits this little cusp. And I think we're good to go. So that's the setup. Now let's go ahead and just check some of the fluids on the car. I also have something for the fuel container that I'll show you, but I want to check all the fluids, make sure we're good to go for tomorrow. And here's the hose I was mentioning. So we have to unscrew this red thing and screw this hose in so that we have a filler hose to be able to pour the gas into the vehicle. So let's go ahead and screw that in. Well, that was easy enough. I actually found a pry bar that fit perfectly into there, and you can kind of just turn this thing as such with this, or you could use needle nose, but that worked. Let's go on to the engine. Pop the hood. We'll check the oil and check all the fluids. So our overflow bottle still got coolant in it. We're good there. Screw this funny thing down. So that's that. Brake fluid's still good. I can still see it's high up there. Clutch fluid should be good. Yeah, clutch fluid's still good. And last but not least is engine oil. So I haven't started it in a week, so probably don't need a paper towel. Where is it? There it is. So engine oil is good too. So we're all set. And this thing, I haven't had to add any oil to this motor. As scary as that valve cover looks, I haven't had to add any oil. So this motor is pretty fresh. Damn, check that out, you guys. If this isn't the perfect track car, I don't know what is. It fits 2 of these jugs, as I was hoping, right there. So we'll have to bend this hose over, but at least we can still get the trunk closed. It's gonna straighten out afterwards. So we can pretty much do this. And the reason why I only bought one hose is because you just switch the cap and you just unscrew this, screw that one back on, and you're good. So let's go ahead and put that tent in there and see how much we can get in there. I'm also, not that I have to, but I do bring the spare tire with me. I guess technically I don't have to, but it helps to hold the tarp or the tent down as well in case the wind picks up. So let's get everything in there and see what happens. Guys, I'm convinced this is almost the ultimate track car. You will not believe how much stuff I fit in this trunk. So we have all the supplies that you could almost possibly need at the track. Let me flip this around and show you, because it's ridiculous how much I put in here. So I have the second fuel can on the ground because we're just gonna do autocross. So honestly, we don't even need the extra fuel. But I have the one can in here, and you can see that the tent is kind of on an angle like this. So if I were to take out that spare tire that's in the back there, the spare tire, then I could shuffle this forward and I could line up those 2 cans perfectly right there. But I don't need to, because I don't need to take the second one with me. But check this out, like I have wrenches down the bottom, I have a small toolkit. I do need to get a bigger one, but I have just a basic socket set over there. And then I also have a jack. So see the bottom of the jack? That's exact same one of those. So it's a low pro jack. I got the bar for it here. I have 2 chairs. I have my tent. I have a bunch of ratchet straps. I got my air pressure gauge in here. I have an electric air pump so that we can pump up the tires if needed. I have a spare rear rotor, a spare front rotor. We could have spare pads, like you name it, we can fit it in here for a track day, and we could close the trunk. We could still fit a passenger. I still have my helmet over here sitting on this seat, but honestly, I think if I wanted to, I could put the helmet right here. So this is wicked, you guys. And I didn't even, like I said, I could take out that spare tire and probably throw some of this junk up there. So I can actually, the spare tire goes all the way underneath here. So we could have more space there. And I could probably make a little bit more room if I wanted to. So I don't think I'm really missing much else, honestly. Maybe a couple jack stands if we wanted to, if we were really planning on getting this, you know, needing to jack it up, but I don't think we're gonna do that, at least not intentionally. But I mean, you could still fit a couple jack stands there, no problem. Like, it's not even that much room. So I mean, we could sit here and put 2 jack stands there if you really wanted to, and go to the track, unload all your stuff, and you guys are off to the races. So pretty cool, honestly. Last time I had this much room, and I put a big cooler bag here and had cold drinks and all that stuff too. So super cool setup, honestly. All right, so that's gonna do it for this quick little video. I just wanna show you guys kind of what goes into a track prep day. There's really not a whole lot, honestly. when we get to the track, after we do like one run, we might actually check the tire pressure before we do a run and make sure it's within spec. That's why we have a tire pressure gauge, and you want to check it when it's hot. So the hot tire pressure, the one that you're going to be running for the majority of the time. And that's pretty much it. As long as there's no maintenance, really. We did a lot of the work before as far as changing and checking brake fluid, getting the tires up to spec, replacing the brakes. So those are all things that you would want to normally check. But the brakes are brand new. We just finished bleeding the fluid, so we're good there. And pretty much the whole car has been gone through at this point. So, and I just wanted to mention again, like we went to that whole track day last time. We went to the Roval, which was a NASCAR track, and we put at least four 25-minute sessions on it in 100-degree weather, and that thing didn't burn a drip of oil. I haven't added anything to it since I did the oil change when I got the car running. So we've been beating on it a lot. Track days, I went to an autocross event, I went to a track day, and this will be the third event. So I didn't film the first autocross event because we were kind of just shaking down the car, but this will be the third event, and we still haven't even burned any oil. So awesome. That I'm really happy that the motor is at least strong on this thing. Anyways, you guys, if you like this video, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're stopping in for the first time. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.